everybody, thanks for watching Arkansas Gun Guy, where today I have two small but awesome but small guns from Sig Sauer to kind of show you side by side. They're very close to each other, but they are slightly different. But again, they are, I guess, from a time before the new micro compacts came out that have a dozen rounds to 17 rounds in a very small, thin frame. These are the original small guns, but I still think they're pretty relevant. And I'll show you some things they do better, some things they don't do as well as the new trendy 365s, Glock 43s, those kinds of things. But I have the Sig Sauer P238 chambered in 380 ACP, and also the Sig Sauer P938, similar body frame and everything, but chambered in 9mm. This is the Legion version, and there is a version in between. I'll talk about those. So I'll flip the camera around, do a tabletop, and show you everything about these two, and tell you some things they do better than the current crop of micro compacts, as well as some things the micro compacts do better. Hint, it's capacity. Anyway, so flipping the camera around. If you would, please like and subscribe to the channel. It'll help me so much with YouTube's algorithms and help me make me the world's first internet gazillionaire. Watch out, Elon Musk. Okay, so here we go. The Sig P238 chambered in 380 and the Sig 938 chambered in 9mm. This is actually a pretty old gun, but today's standards in 2023. This gun was introduced in 2019 as a very super small carry gun. And this version is actually from 2014, I believe. Or I'm sorry, 2017. This version came out with one modification. It has some Hogue grips versus the standard Sig plastic grips that come on there. Sig also offers Hogue grips with the same type design here. So that's the Sig P238. Again, introduced in 2009. Then in 2014, about 5 years later, they came out with a 938, which would fit in this imaginary blank space on the table. That was the same gun, slightly larger, slightly taller, chambered in 9mm. Exact same layout and design, but that was the P938, introduced in 2014. And there's different versions of those with different color slides and or grips. But then 5 years after that, they introduced the Legion series to the 938 model. So this is the P938 in Legion, which just costs more. No, it has a metal frame, different grips here. I think you get 3 magazines instead of 2, and a special finish. And you get to be in the Legion Club, which allows you to spend more money on Legion product. Not that I'm talking from experience, but this is my gun. This gun is a friend of the channel's, and I love shooting this gun. It is so easy to carry. It is incredibly accurate from like 7 yards in. This gun is exactly the same thing, only easier to shoot because there's no recoil with the 380. So both fantastic guns. So we'll look at them side by side here and see kind of what we have. So again, lengthwise, the 9mm version is slightly longer at 5.9 inches long. This is 5.5 inches long versus 5.9. You see the difference there, roughly. So a little longer on the 9mm. Width-wise, they're exactly the same, 1.1 inches. And that's the key. That's the big secret. That's what makes these so easy to carry. The fact that they're only just over 1 inch wide. Most other small guns are 1.5 inches or so, and that makes a big difference. And again, just sneak preview, this is the Sig P365, which revolutionized the carry game because you can get 12 rounds in here, now 17 in the macro. But again, that one's only 1.1 inches wide as well. So that width is really important, and that's what makes these guns so easy to carry. They're so small, they'll fit in your hand and they'll fit in your pocket, super easy to carry. Height-wise, they're both 3.9, they're 3.9 inches tall for the 238, and 4.3 inches tall on the Legion. So I'm not sure why that one's so much taller, but it is a bit taller. If you look at them back to back, you can probably pretty easily see that. Weight-wise, so this guy weighs nothing. It is so light. It's 15.2 ounces. The imaginary one in the middle, the 938 non-Legion version, is 16 ounces. And this guy, the Legion with the extra stuff on there, weighs in at 17 ounces. Again, very, very light, but both super easy to carry in your pocket. Now, oddly enough, the capacity, the 238 comes with the standard 6-round magazine, where the 938s come with 7-round magazines. You can probably visually see there is a difference here in length of the grip module, and I'll tell you, my 938, I have no problem getting the 3-finger grip on there. Easy peasy. It does have the small extended base plate on here, which helps you grab it, but it works really well. The 238 is a little shorter, reminiscent of a Glock 365. You get the floating pinky design, 2-finger grip with a floating pinky. So if you don't love that, Sig, being the industrious people they are, have an extended mag that takes care of that. So pop this out. By the way, these have a safety check, but just for the camera, there you go. So there's the extender on the bottom, and looky there, you have the 3-finger grip. And I cannot tell you how light and comfortable this silly gun is. It is crazy how light and just how easy to carry this gun is. Now, I know the people who like to argue about ammunition say that 380 doesn't have the stopping power of 9. Yeah. I know, it doesn't. But if I'm a bad guy, I don't want to get shot with anything, whether it's 22, 38, or 9mm. I mean, for up to me, I would have a gun this size that had 20 rounds of 10mm in there. It's just physically impossible. So the 380 is it's still an effective cartridge. It's very easy to shoot and stay on target. This gun is super relevant, as well as the Legion version here. So let's look at the details. I'll leave the extended grip on here. They're both, again, from the mid to late 2010s. It's almost like a 1911 body style without the grip safety. So you've got the button mag release here, cocking instructions in the back on the 238, not the front. But you have your slide catch, slide release here, and a safety only on the left side for right-handed shooters. Being a lefty, I take offense to that, but it's very easy to actuate. On the right-hand side for left-handers, nothing over here. No mag release, no safety, no nothing on the 238. And here's your sight picture on the 238. Again, these are standard, the sights that came on the gun. I do think they change the models up every year on the 238s. So there's different sights and different grips and different slides almost every year. But if you can find one of these, I think they're pretty rarely available. This is a great gun just to have in your pocket to carry. Now, one thing I'll touch on now, and I'll do both together. The one thing these guns do better than the current compacts, two things. A, they're more concealable. You can stick them in your cargo pocket. You can stick them in your bag. You can stick them in any pocket you want to. Incredibly easy to conceal. You can carry an appendix, super easy. You can carry 2 of these appendix. But the trigger, these are both hammer-fired guns, which is my favorite methodology to fire, but they're single action only, which is by far, I think, the best trigger. So we'll take a look at this. Again, I've safety checked it already, but single action only. So when the hammer's down, you pull, nothing happens, right? So you have to cock the gun. You can carry it cocked and locked. Safety is very effective, very tactile. You can tell there's nothing moving there. But once you drop the safety, I'm going back to my left hand, sorry. The trigger pull is so crisp. Oh, here I go. Nothing. And then the reset is also nothing. That is a hair trigger. The thing is so incredibly easy to shoot. So this grip, with the way this gun fits in your hand and this trigger, make this gun very, very, very easy to shoot. So both guns. So I'll flip over to the Legion now really quick and look at that trigger. Again, safety checking, magazine, gun is clear. So again, when you're in single action only, nothing happens. Hammer down, pull the trigger, nothing happens. Rack the slide, pull the trigger. Oh, it is just such a clean, crisp break and so easy to pull. I don't have a trigger gauge. I need to buy one for the channel, but I imagine this is 3 pounds, maybe? I don't know. There's just nothing there. So I love the fact that these are single action only. So versus today's Super Micro 9s, the 365, the Hellcat, the Glock 43, these are better in the fact that they're smaller, more concealable, and they're easier to shoot because the triggers are freaking awesome. The one big drawback, capacity. Those guns now get 10, 12, 15, 17 rounds in there. So more rounds probably wins. And they're just slightly bigger, but just as thin. So if you want a slightly bigger, more round gun, those are fine. But if you want a smaller, super easy to conceal, and super easy to shoot, these are both really, really good options. Now, before I forget, I'll jump over to the Legion. You'll see the same designs over here, same mag release, same slide catch, slide release. Here you have an ambi safety though, so you'll notice that lefties like me get to play in the safety field finally. So Love having the ambi safety on there. And on the Legion version, you do get these updated, I guess, G10 grips, which are not as grippy as the rubber Hogue grips, but they're very, very effective. And you also have some texturing on the back here and back there, as well as under on the gun, where this gun is more smooth and rounded. You do have the same texturing on the back here, but on the bottom, the Legion has this little extra detail there. So if you're in the market for a super small gun, but you don't want to buy one of the more popular current models, these guns were made over 10 years ago and they are still incredible. Okay, now through the magic of film editing, I want to show you the internals. In case you're curious about what the inside of a 380 ACP looks like versus the 9mm. So I'll take a look at the internals here. I went ahead and did this off camera because these are not easy to take apart. I'll tell you, you know, if you have the slide catch that goes here in this slot. So you have to push from this side when this button is out and have that lined up with this notch right here. So you have to kind of pull back on the slide and push through and pull out. So it's just not super easy and probably embarrassing, so I don't want to show you guys that. So here you can see the frames stripped down, and obviously the 380 is a little bit smaller than the 9mm, as we discussed. If you look this on the side, the slide is almost identical, but you'll see a different design here. And then if you look through the internals down here, pretty much look the same. I have read online that you want to rack these guns and release them with the safety down. You do not want to actuate the safety with the slides off because it could damage the guns. So if you are taking this apart to clean it, do not actuate the safety. Have the safety off and leave it off. But there's a close-up of the internals of these two guns. Looks like the slide has about the same amount of contact on both sides. And then inside of each of these, this is the 380 and this is the 9mm. Again, you can see the barrel and slide are slightly different size. The internals look pretty much identical. And it looks like the guide rod and recoil springs are a little different design and shape as well. I will tell you, when cleaning this guy, it's painful to clean because it is a pain in the bottom to get this recoil spring back in here. I'll post a trick I've learned to do that, to make it easier in the description of this video. But there is a complete look inside and out of the Sig Sauer P238 chambered in 380 and the 938 Legion version chambered in 9mm. Again, thank you guys so very much for watching the Arkansas Gun Guy. Appreciate you.